What's up, everybody? It's Mr. M, and today I'm going to be doing part one of my CD collection. I'm going to go through all my CDs, start to finish. Right at the moment, I have about 400 of them, so it'll take a while, but I got a lot of good CDs, a lot of stuff I want to talk about with it. And for those of you who care, the way I keep my CDs organized is A to Z by album title. So let's get started with this. First up, we have Attila with About That Life. It's a standard deathcore record with pretty meh lyrics. Probably the best Attila record, but definitely not the favorite record at all. That's all I gotta say about that one. Next up, we got Motorhead with Aftershock, which is Motorhead's 21st record. I got the deluxe version, or the tour edition, whatever you'd want to call it. Aftershock itself is a pretty standard Motorhead record, what you'd come to expect from them after 21 albums. The deluxe version comes with a live CD, which includes classics like Ace of Spades and Overkill, as well as Lost Woman Blues, which is the only song off of Aftershock that made it onto the live CD. And in the CD booklet, it came with an expanded booklet. We got live photos from their live performances that they did in support of the record, and then you got the album credits and shit. Nothing too special, but it's Motorhead, like I said, like you'd expect after 21 records. Next up is The Sword with Age of Winters. This is a heavy metal record. Definitely wouldn't feel out of place in the 70s or 80s when you had the new wave of British heavy metal or some of the glam rock stuff that was kind of going on in the United States. It feels like an instrumental record, even though there's not. There's plenty of lyrics, but the way that they made the record, they made it seem more of an instrumental kind of thing as opposed to making the lyrics stand out. At least in my opinion, anyway. Next up, we have The Faceless with Akeldama, their first record. And this was the first record that was put out on Sumerian Records, which is pretty cool. These guys, at the time that this record was done, like I said, it was their first. These were more of a technical death metal with deathcore tinged roots. And you can definitely tell the deathcore in songs like An Autopsy and then the title track, which is a nice almost 6-minute long instrumental. And then some of the more technical death metal stuff is on songs like Horizons of Chaos Parts 1 and 2 and Leisha or Lika, however you'd say that. Next we have 6 Feet Under with Alive and Dead, the live record that they released about a year after Haunted, which was their first record. It includes Suffering and Ecstasy, Human Target, Lycanthropy, and Beneath a Black Sky live, as well as 2 new songs, Insect and Drowning, and a cover of Grinder by Judas Priest. And the cover is pretty mediocre. I've never really liked the cover itself. And then Insect and Drowning, those songs are kind of hard to tell apart. Structurally, they're pretty much written the same, and they're the same time as well, like almost 3 minutes long, or close to 3 minutes long. Next up, we got All Empires Fall by Tombs. This is an EP or mini album, whichever you prefer to call it. 5 songs put out in 2016, and almost every song on here is a different genre. You got the first song, The World is Made of Fire, which is like a doomy, blackened death metal kind of thing. And then you have Obsidian, which is just an assault of black metal. Then you got Last Days of Sunlight, which is the third song. I think I might have shown the back, but I'm showing it again. Last Days of Sunlight, which is a doomy song. Then you have Deceiver and 5, which are the last 2 songs. And those ones pretty much are the only songs that really feel similar to each other. They're like mostly death metal, but blackened death metal. tinged with black metal as well, so close to black and death metal songs. Next up is Slipknot with All Hope Is Gone. Slipknot's first record to go #1 in the United States. Don't know about the rest of the world. Definitely not my favorite Slipknot record at all. You got songs like Sulfur and Psychosocial and Snuff, which are pretty good. But other than that, the record falls pretty flat for me. Definitely not anywhere near as good as Volume 3 or Iowa was. And it was the last record to feature Paul Gray on bass, which really sucks. Sucks that he died. Next off, we got Paramore with All We Know Is Falling, their debut record. It's a pop-punk gem, to me anyway. It's definitely my favorite record. The records after this one didn't really stick as much to me. I don't really have much to say about the record in general, though, even though it is my favorite one. Next off, we have the American Idiot single CD. Back when they actually used to do this, American Idiot backed with Too Much Too Soon, and that B-side song, Too Much Too Soon, is just as good as any A-side song that ended up on the American Idiot record. And it ended up getting released on deluxe version of American Idiot. I don't know if they released a deluxe version of American Idiot right away or a couple of years later, but it ended up on there. And then the last CD I'm going to do for this video is American Idiot, the Broadway cast version. It's a double CD that, of course, was recorded by the cast of Green Day when that was the cast of the show American Idiot after it became a Broadway show in 2009, and features 22 total songs. One of the songs is a B-side called When It's Time that was recorded by Green Day, and then you had the other 13 standard songs that ended up on American Idiot. You got 3 B-sides, Favorite Son, Too Much Too Soon, and When It's Time, and then it features 4 or 5 songs off 21st Century Breakdown, which Green Day was recording at the time that this was being made for the play. I don't necessarily know if it should have been on 2 CDs. I think it might have been able to fit on one. It's an hour and 20 minutes long or something close to that. The cast itself did a pretty good job on some of these songs. There are some that I wasn't too fond of, but it's whatever because they rewrote the songs to fit the play. And just in general, this record's pretty good. And then I also have the standard American Idiot CD, but I'm going to have to do a different video on that because it's my favorite record of all time, and I could talk about that record for hours probably. And that's it for this video. I don't know when the next one will be up, part 2. But thanks for watching. If you made it this far, leave a comment if you want. You can ask questions about these records. I didn't go too in depth on some of them. This is like that Sword record I don't really listen to that much, or the Attila record just because I don't really like them that much. But leave a like if you want and subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Peace.